Patrick Kluivert has drawn Real Madrid against... Oh, you are messing. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Champions League quarter-final draw time, and my club Chelsea, of course. We are in the draw, as Graham Potter said. We're going to win the fucking Champions League, no doubt about it, but yeah, I'm currently watching it on screen right now. They're going through the usual they usually do at the start of the Champions League draw. We've got Hamid Altintop and Patrick Kluivert out to do the draw now, to decide who plays who in the quarter-finals, and then obviously we'll get into the semi-final route after that, and then the final, obviously. And yeah, going to be a really interesting one, because you see some of the teams left in it. I mean, you've got Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man City, Benfica, and then you've got Napoli, AC Milan, and Inter Milan from Italy. So yeah, a lot of good teams left in there. Obviously, if you're talking about who I personally want, it's going to have to be like, you know, Benfica or someone like that, or Inter Milan would be another interesting one as well, to see Lukaku get booed at Stamford Bridge even though he's still a Chelsea player. Well, yeah, I think this year's one is going to be really interesting, because for the first time in a while it's extremely difficult to actually predict who's going to win the Champions League this season. I mean, you've got three of the best teams in the world right now, I think, in Bayern Munich, Man City and Real Madrid, and then you've got teams like Napoli who are doing absolutely unreal at the moment, Chelsea who seem to have a little bit of resurgence in form under Graham Potter, and we do seem like a knockout team, and obviously we do tend to, you know, do well in the Champions League when we're struggling domestically. So yeah, it could be a really interesting draw. And yeah, I'm going to be giving you my live raw reactions to this Champions League draw. And yeah, as I said, if you're asking me who I prefer, probably Benfica or maybe Inter Milan or someone, but yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if we get someone like Man City or Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, because they're the three teams that I think are going to be probably the three that absolutely no one wants to get, really, even though, you know, there's a lot of good teams left in this draw regardless. So yeah, Claudio Ranieri's out on screen now. That means the draw will start now in a minute. Right, here we go. The first ball is being drawn out. Who is the first team drawn? Hamid Altintop has picked out Real Madrid. Okay, I do not want to see, ideally, don't want to see Chelsea picked out as the next team now, to be fair. I'd love to see Man City or Bayern Munich, just from a Chelsea fan's perspective, to, you know, have one of those teams guaranteed to go out, really. Patrick Kluivert has drawn Real Madrid against... Oh... You are messing. Real Madrid versus Chelsea in the quarterfinals, a repeat of last year's quarterfinals when we nearly overturned that first leg 3-1 deficit from Stamford Bridge at the Bernabeu, went 3-0 up, and then obviously Modric did his thing. So yeah, we're going to go at Real Madrid once again, and the second one I've just seen is Inter against Benfica, so one of those teams is going to be in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Holy shit. But anyway, Hamid Altintop has just drawn out Manchester City, I do believe. Yep, Man City have just been drawn out, so obviously their options are Napoli, AC Milan and Bayern Munich. I have a feeling City are going to get Napoli for some reason, I don't know why, and then Bayern Munich would play AC Milan, but we'll see now. Patrick Kluivert is putting Man City against Bayern Munich. Okay. So AC Milan against Napoli, which means one of those teams is going to be in the semi-finals. Man, this is going to be f***ing interesting, you know. Man City and Bayern Munich, and then Chelsea against Real Madrid. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. But we've got some interesting games there. I mean, Inter and Benfica will be interesting in terms of the fact that obviously one of those teams are going to be the underdogs, no doubt, in a semi-final. Same with AC Milan and Napoli, I suppose, but you'd expect Napoli to get through, even though AC Milan do have some good players. Man City and Bayern is going to be a really, really interesting one. Honestly, that's going to be some game, and obviously I'm really looking forward now to seeing us play against the mighty Real Madrid, who are struggling somewhat in La Liga, but obviously in Champions League they have that pedigree in them, and every single season they're just absolutely insane in the Champions League. I mean, they've won the most Champions League titles for a reason, right? And absolutely bent over Liverpool at Anfield, being 2-0 down. So the thing with Real Madrid is they do not know when they're beaten, and that is a worrying thing as a Chelsea fan, knowing the fact that we will be playing them now in the next round come April. Okay, so now we're getting onto the stage where we find out which quarter-final winners will be playing who in the semi-finals. So the first one drawn is AC Milan or Napoli, who will be playing against the winners of quarter-final 2. So if I'm right in saying that is Inter against Benfica, which means that we are playing Man City or Bayern in the f***ing semi-finals if we get through. No way is Napoli, AC Milan, Inter Milan or Benfica. One of those teams is guaranteed to be in the Champions League final in Istanbul come June. That is just absolutely ridiculous. We have an absolute gargantuan side of Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Man City. Yes, I know maybe it sounds like I'm being stupid sneaking Chelsea into the bracket of Real Madrid, Man City and Bayern, but even still, oh my god, that is actually one hell of a draw, you know. We've got some absolutely tasty fixtures coming up now in April and in in May as well for the semi-finals. But yeah, it looks like this year we're going to have to do it the hard way. We're going to have to do it the really hard way. Yeah, I guess I'll just get into, a few mini predictions, predictions off the top of my head, I suppose, as to who I think will go through. So first and foremost, the first one, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. We'll leave that one to last because, of course, I've got a horse in that race. But then we'll go on to Inter Milan against Benfica. That's a tough one, to be fair, because they could easily do each other. I think that's a 50-50 one, but I think my gut feeling would go for Benfica in that one, just about. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Inter Milan in that one. I think Inter Milan will just about do Benfica in that one. So I'm going to go with Inter Milan in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Man City against Bayern Munich. I can't back away from Pep. Honestly, Man City are just an absolute different beast. I know Bayern Munich are one of, if not the best, team in the world right now and have been for a number of years, and obviously have that Champions League pedigree as well. And that's going to be some game, Man City against Bayern Munich, because that's another one, 50-50. I think pretty much every tie in this one, apart from maybe Napoli and AC Milan, you could say, are absolute 50-50s, and either team could go through on the day. But I'm just going to edge it to Man City. I just think Man City, with Haaland especially this year, bagging 5 goals against Leipzig or whatever, I think City are just about going to scrape past Bayern Munich, and I think they'll have enough to get through that one. Then AC Milan, of course, against Napoli. I think Napoli should be getting through that one, but AC Milan are capable of a shock. But I think Napoli with Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, Kim Min-jae, all those players, they're just absolutely brilliant this season, Napoli, and I think Napoli should be safe for the quarterfinals in that one, semi-finals in that one, sorry. And Chelsea against Real Madrid. I'm going to back my boys. I'm going to say Chelsea. Obviously, my head says Real Madrid because they are just, clear of us. I think it's fair to say, given the fact we are 10th in our domestic league. I'm going to just back Chelsea, just go for hope, and Chelsea into the semi-finals of the Champions League. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But then we play, according to my predictions, Man City with Napoli playing Inter Milan. You'd expect Napoli to get to the final now, to be fair, especially with the draw they've been given. I think they should go through against AC Milan, like I keep saying. They're better than Inter Milan, and they are better than Benfica. So I think Napoli will be in the Champions League final regardless. And then it's about, who wins the other side of the bracket. And based on my predictions, I'm going to go with Chelsea versus Man City. I'm going to probably have to say Man City. I don't think we'll get to the final now, especially given the draw we do have. But my God, it would be one hell of a fucking statement of intent if Graham Potter can go and get to the Champions League final now, having overturned Real Madrid and Man City or Bayern Munich. So it's going to be a really, really interesting finish to the season in the Champions League. So Man City against Napoli in the final. You'd probably have to back Man City in that one. So to be fair, I think, look, Napoli are a great team, and it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if they did win the Champions League, because they are dark horses for a lot of people this season in the Champions League. But I just think whoever wins that side of the bracket between Man City, Bayern, Real and Chelsea, I think is probably going to win the Champions League this season. But it will be an interesting final, and once you get to the final, it's anyone's game. It's 90 minutes of football, and anyone can win it from them, to be fair. So it's going to be an interesting finish. I can't wait till April now to take on Real Madrid. And to be fair, it's actually kind of a best of 3 tie, really, because obviously we knocked them out in the quarterfinals the year before, or the semi-finals actually it was the year before, in the Champions League, when we did go on to win it in Porto. And then obviously they got their revengeance last season, knocked us out at the Bernabeu, like I said, despite the fact we showed absolutely unbelievable character to come back and score 3 goals, 4 if you count Alonso's disallowed goal, I remember. It's going to be an interesting one. Chelsea versus Real Madrid. We are away in the first leg, so the second leg is going to be at Stamford Bridge. Oh my God, it's going to be absolutely bouncing. Stamford Bridge, under the lights, European nights. There's not many stadiums better, and you might laugh at me saying that, but Stamford Bridge is one of the most underrated stadiums under the lights when there's a big occasion, in my opinion. But we've got some thrilling action ahead of us. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who is going to win those quarterfinal ties, and overall, who is going to win the Champions League based on this draw, now that we know the structure of the brackets between now and the final. So let me know in the comment section below. I'm interested to see who you guys are backing to win the competition. And leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. It would be massively appreciated. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would be hugely appreciated as well. We are looking to hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So every single one of you that hits that subscribe button would be an absolute legend and help me get there as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys in my next video. We'll be there against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in April. And up the Chelsea, come on. And chat to you later.